Coaching in esports has been around for a while now, and they always seem to go as the unsung heroes of the team. But now times are changing and coaches are becoming more valuable than ever. I sat down with some of the top coaches here at Gears Vegas to pick their brains and see what sets them apart.
People just look at coaches as like a guy who is just not good enough to be there as a player, like just some guy in the background. Oh, you can't shoot your gun, that's why you can't be a coach. Like you're not really a factor. But I think that's not true. Like a lot of coaches now, they're honestly the backbone of the team and the first line of support that's in game with them at tournaments.
The people who were calling themselves coaches, I felt like they were more kind of glorified managers. They just stood behind the teams at events and kept timers. And I wanted to change that. I wanted to actively contribute to the success of my team. I made a lot of people mad when I first started coaching because I came from League of Legends where they were given a lot more credit and a lot more respect. I tried to apply as many techniques as I could from coaches that I looked up to in League of Legends, and so far it's proven effective.
I think coaches have room to make a lot of impact on teams, but at the end of the day, the players are the most important ones because they're the ones that have to go out there and execute in the game. I think the three most important qualities in a coach are game knowledge, the ability to motivate and keep their players composed, and the ability to have an authoritative voice and make sure that things are getting done.
Footage, that's number one. Number two is definitely breakthroughs. Just anything that helps with overall chemistry, hanging out with your teammates, playing the game with them, outside of like actual matches. Playing sometimes other games is something that top teams do. They won't even play Gears of War. They'll just play other games just to get to know their teammates more, have some fun.
Sometimes a team will just feel lost. You lose a scrim, you lose a match, a tournament, and you don't know what went wrong. And that's where the coach needs to be able to step up and identify what went wrong. And then, of course, the coach needs to be smart about the game. They need to know the ins and outs of the game. They don't necessarily need to be the best player. They just need to be able to understand how the game should work, how to optimize the strengths and weaknesses of their team.
We wake up about 10 o'clock every day. We start our meeting around 11 o'clock at Cali time. From 11 to 11:30, we're just going over, a team meeting, our overall goals for the day. From 12 to 2 o'clock, we'll go over footage, lunch for half an hour, warm up after that, go over a pre-practice, scrim the entire time, another 6 hours of scrimming, and then maybe an hour of VOD review or 2 hours, sometimes 3 depending on how many matches we lose.
These guys are practicing 4 to 6 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week, and lucky for me, all of my players live in Dallas, so we have a practice space in the Optic offices. So we get to utilize that, and I get to pretty much practice coaching how I would be coaching at an event.
So coaching online is a little weird because you sit in on the scrim and you can't really call out or anything. But when I'm here at the event and I'm looking at all 5 of their screens, I get to take a much more active role in the game about calling our mid-round rotations and strategies. The most important advice I can give anyone that wants to get into coaching is to study the top teams, improve your game knowledge as much as you can so that you can bring that to a team.
It's your job to keep the players composed as people. It's your job to keep them focused. If they start to lose focus, redirect them, get them on the same page. Just basically be a fly on the wall in the background and make sure we're as efficient as we possibly could be. And if we fall off the rails a little bit, it's my job to get them back on, the right train, get them back on the right rails.
I have a psychology background. In fact, my degree is in psychology and social science. So I use that to have a better understanding of how my players think, how, what drives them emotionally, things like that. So I know how that they will react to my criticism and what will actually make them push themselves to be better every time.
Checks and balances. Everybody needs to be on point. The coach needs to be on point with his breakthroughs, his efficiency, and showing players where they need to improve. And the players need to be on point with hitting their shots, being aware, and doing everything they can to be a complete player.